What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Clickbait. We are going to, like usual, break down Bachelor Nation. So much happened in Bachelor this week. As you saw, after the rose, we have the Bachelor in Paradise super teaser. And then we're going to hit up our Clickbait of the week. How long does it actually take to fall in love? And I have a very strong opinion on this. And then I'm so happy because we have one of my favorite people of Bachelor Nation joining us today, Queen Victoria. We're going to talk to her and just hear what she has to say. I'm so excited. But right now, let's break down Bachelor Nation. Natasha, are you ready? Oh, and also, Tasha is not here. Obviously, you see she has a very busy schedule. She'll be back next week. We miss her. You miss her. We love you, Tasha, but we got to get going.
You look good, girl, on AFR. You look real good. Yeah. All right, here we go. Katie and Blake. Our first Bachelor breakdown is Katie and Blake are engaged.
Yes.
Did you feel all the feels, Joe? Did you see it?
I did. I thought, yes, I did. I thought it was really sweet. From the beginning, as soon as Blake hopped on the season, I saw the connection. It seemed real. They seemed really into each other. And I'm very happy for both of them. And it seems like they're really in love.
Yeah. It's always so good when you see the happy ending, right? Like it's like, it kind of like makes all the journey, all the ups, the downs, everything worth it. And honestly, the way that he looks at her from the beginning, like you said, the way that he looks at her is just, you can tell he really cares about her and he was really trying to figure this thing out. Even the things that he said about her when she told him about the whole Greg thing and how she was just questioning herself and just the reassurance that he gave her. I mean, go ahead, Blake. We love you, boo. I'm glad that I'm glad that they were able to get through all of it and at the final rose, the body language, the energy, it all felt really good. What about Aunt Lindsay?
Well, Katie seemed, yeah. What about Aunt Lindsay? Katie seemed by far the most, I don't know her personally, but the most herself, or at least the most comfortable with Blake. And when you're on these shows, I think that is a big tell and very important when you could just relax, forget the cameras are there, and really be yourself. So I believe that they will last. Like I really do. I buy into them. I think it's real love. And they did have some obstacles because, Blake's sister, we saw in the previous episode, was pretty hard. She was questioning, like, how can you fall in love with so many bachelorettes?
Yeah.
And then we have, Katie's aunt and mom who were kind of like, like
Aunt Lindsay came through, honey.
She's like, we don't buy this. We don't even care about you. I would have been like, Jesus Christ. But, tough love, I guess, or they have every right to question where he stands. And I've said this multiple times. It's hard to really comprehend what happens to you on the show if you've never been through it. So as an outsider and protecting somebody that you love, you're going to be skeptical. So
he handled all the questions with Aunt Lindsay. I feel like, like sometimes like there's like, Katie, of course, lost her dad. And sometimes I feel like that the dad wants to instill this fear in the guy sometimes, like I know when my dad used to meet guys, he'd be like, hey, look here, I got guns,
yeah.
It would be that type of thing. And of course she didn't do that, but she just said, hey, this is the reality. The reality is this. And he was like, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the hills, the mountains. Let's climb them. So I think he handled it really well. But Aunt Lindsay became an instant fan favorite, I think, for everybody for her realism.
Well, but I also want to touch on that because when people talk about the reality isn't love and happiness and
right,
that's not necessarily true. Like just because Yeah, like everybody is going to go through tough times, of course, but that doesn't necessarily mean like get ready for the real world because it's not going to be all roses. And I mean,
everybody goes, you, Joe, you sound like a hopeless romantic right now.
Well, yeah, I think it's good to be a hopeless romantic, and I think that's how you should go through life. I don't think you should always be just like so skeptical that it's going to get so tough that you guys are, it's like, it's the beginning of the relationship. They're in love. They're engaged. Let's celebrate it instead of putting in so many doubts right away.
Yes, I hear that. But like you said, this is a damn TV show. Everything's great on this damn TV show. Right. And I think that was probably her sentiment. Of course,
but that's not true. But that's also not true.
What's not true?
That everything's great on this TV show because...
of course, but from her mindset. Meaning of course, we know that. Oh, Lord, tears, all types of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, we know that, of course, because we've been on the show. But I think from the outsider's point of view, even my parents, they're like, why are you crying? They're looking at promos like, what, for Paradise? Like, why are you crying? What's wrong with you? You was on the beach. Things was nice. Like, what's happening? I'm like, honey, So that's what I think.
Yeah, like people don't care. Like, and I don't know if this is true or not. This is just how I think. But yes, I mean, the show casts people that are fairly, good looking people that in the real world shouldn't have a problem dating, but seem to. And I think what the show does is cast a lot of people that have a tendency to suppress their feelings and run from love. So what happens when you go on the show, you're constantly being put to the test. Like why? And then eventually you open up and then you're this whole new person that you've been pushing to the side. And that's how it becomes real. Maybe that's just me, but I feel that. I receive that, Joe. So moving on to our next Bachelor breakdown. Oh boy. We saw Greg last night. Yes.
And Greg just can't stay out of the news right now. Greg and Bree decided to have a little hot boy summer night. And they went out in New York and people spotted them, and it's a whole thing now, and everyone's talking about it. Did you see that? Did you see the pictures? Did you see it all?
Yeah, it's also a lot of bullshit. It's a lot of people talking. People in this franchise, we go through this experience, and then we reach out to each other and just talk. And when you're in the same city, you'll meet up and be friendly. Bree clearly has a guy. She posted on her Instagram story holding her, what seems to be her boyfriend's hand. So it's just speculation, and that's always what's going to happen. That is what's going to happen when you're in this world.
World.
Yeah. I mean, I just think it was innocent, and I think they hung out as friends and probably talked about their experience on the show. I think they both were, he's top 3. Bree was what? 4th? Top 3. Yeah, Bree was top 3.
Top 4. Top 3.
Top 3. And if it was anything, if they were hooking up or anything, Bree wouldn't have posted a photo with her boyfriend. So
Yeah. And I think, I saw a lot of comments of people being like, they had that picture so old. Why'd she post that? That's an old picture. She's trying to, it's like, I haven't met Bree in person. I have talked to her. She seems like a very awesome person. And she just seems like a very low key, private person about her love life, which I totally get because people in Bachelor get obsessed with our love life. Right.
Yeah.
So I do think that it was probably an innocent meetup. And I also talked to Greg, and Greg was like, yo, I was going crazy at home. I just needed to get out of the house. And it's just nice, I think, to be around Bachelor people. And I think you learn that more than anything once you're on this show, just because no one else knows this experience but the people in this world, right? In Bachelor Nation. So I think it was innocent, but we're not going to let it off that quick. We got to talk about Greg and Katie last night. We got to. People coming for my DMs, people coming for Tasha DMs, people talking about our last thing. I just have to say to our listeners, podcasts are opinions. So I'm going to just say that one, my opinion, I still stick with my personal opinion because when I watch something, I think just as humans, we resonate with one or the other. There's a lot of people that resonated with Katie in that moment, and I do not discredit that. There's a lot of people that resonated with Greg in that moment, and I do not discredit that. Me personally, in my personal relationships, I am normally the one looking for validation. in the relationship from the guy that I'm dating. So that is why I personally was on the side of, wow, I felt that before with Greg. Now, Katie, in her position, never been a bachelorette. Don't know what that feels like, right?
Yes.
ABC. So I'm just saying that in one of those situations, I don't know what that feels like to have that power to give someone such validation, because in my relationships, that's not where I've been. Now, could he have done it better? Could he have been more gentlemanly? Could he did it a different way? Absolutely. Absolutely. No one's denying that. No one's saying that. But pipe down in my DMs, y'all. Okay? I still stick by what I say. Joe, go to you.
Okay. Sure. So what I said last episode was that I didn't think it was enough because of the situation and because of everything that Katie has on her plate. I didn't think it was necessarily enough for Greg to leave, because there was fantasy suites coming up. They could talk off mic.
Yes.
But in the same breath, I didn't think Greg was doing it because this was like his big plan, right? Katie said, Greg, at the After the Rose, you were never ready to get engaged. Well, how is that necessarily true when Greg did say, I'm in love with you and I love you, and confessed his heart or whatever he said.
And told his family that he was gonna.
And told his family. So if he wasn't ready to get engaged, I don't necessarily believe he would have said all that, right? Mm-hmm. Because he would have been looking for an out. But he said, like, all these things. And then, I guess, like, at the After the Rose, she accuses him of being a New Jersey fuckboy, which I don't think there's any real evidence on that, except for the fact that he's a good-looking kid. So now we're going to automatically assume that he's a fuckboy. I don't really agree with that. And the fact that he took acting classes or was an actor, it's like, okay, that doesn't mean like you faked the whole thing. Plus, I'm pretty sure Katie was like a TikTok comedian before the show. So I after watching their breakup and just sitting there and actually taking everything in, it just was unhealthy to begin with.
Yeah.
And I think it's best for both of them that they aren't together.
100%.
I
agree.
I don't necessarily think Greg handled it the best way the first time. Okay. I don't think Katie handled it great at the After the Rose. I think everything was led with a lot of emotions, which makes for great TV. But yeah, I think Katie.
Yeah, my mouth was on the floor.
I'm happy for Katie. I think her and Blake are great. I think they have a future ahead of them. And I think Greg's going to do just fine. And I think they are best separated, personally.
Yeah, same. Yeah. And it's funny, I tweeted this. I said, all the Team Katie, Team Greg stuff, I'm Team Love. Katie is better off with Blake 100%. It just seems like a healthier relationship, right? Yeah. And Love won last night, right?
You're Team Love. You know what? I'm Team Joe, okay? I'm self-involved and I'm all about what happens with Joe.
So, last Bachelor breakdown that we have today. We saw that super tease for Paradise. We about to be done with the Bachelorette and now we into Paradise. Becca Kufrin, a former Bachelorette.
My arch nemesis right there, Becca Kufrin. I can't believe she showed up on the beach.
She showed up on the beach, Joe.
Unbelievable.
You said on a past episode, there's going to be someone who's very unexpected to see on the beach.
Yeah.
Who were you talking about?
Becca. Yeah, Becca.
You were talking about Becca?
Yeah. I wasn't expecting to see her. I mean, yeah, but she's there. She's there, and she's not there as a host. She's there as a contestant. She's there to fall in love. She's there to go through all the feelings. I know it wasn't easy on me to come back. Once I was there and back in it, I was like, oh fuck. And I'm sure Becca felt the same way, but
she's never done Paradise.
Huh?
You mean just falling in love on TV, because she's never done Paradise?
No, but I'm saying going back into this atmosphere and this environment and going back, she's never done Paradise, but essentially it's the same thing. It's so
I'll give you guys some tea. The first rose ceremony that she had to do, she was like, "Oh, this is weird. This is very weird." She was kind of freaking out about the rose ceremony because, she had to be the person handing out all of these roses. She was like, "Oh, I only get one. Only hand out one." Right? So,
it was difficult for me too, seeing her up there with the rose, and I'm standing there like, this is unbelievable. I'm feeling all the feels from 2018. This is incredible.
Were you like, Becca, I deserve that rose. I don't care who you're going to give it to. I deserve it.
As soon as Becca walked in, I'm like, this is going south for me. This is going. No, but I love Becca. I consider her a friend, and I'm glad she came out there because it was a lot of fun having her there. What did you think of the super teaser?
Oh,
that was like 2.5 minutes. That was the biggest one that's been dropped. How do you feel?
Wow. I mean, I feel like the super teaser had our girl Demi it was a lot of Demi spicing things up. Also, I mean, Joe, they definitely put some things in there about some love triangles. What did you think about that?
I lived it. So yeah, I mean, I knew it was coming. Yeah, I mean, like I said, and we've teased it from the beginning. As soon as we got back, that Paradise was wild. It was intense.
There's multiple love triangles, as we saw from the teaser. And I think that, I feel like for me, the teaser was great for me because it was just me just like being fun and cute. So I love the teaser.
Wait, were you crying in this one?
No, I don't think so.
Is there a teaser that you are crying in?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Every other one I'm crying in. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I was crying in this one, but you know what? I did a lot of crying on that beach, so it probably wasn't. I just skipped over it. But I think it's going to be beautiful. I can't wait to watch your story because, it's like for our listeners, when you're in Paradise, you're so invested in whatever your relationship is,
Yeah.
And this is a spoiler alert. Joe and I do not end up together, guys. So we were not in each other's relationship. Yeah. So just putting that out there now. So it'll be good to see yours. It'll be good to see other people's that, you hear about it, but you didn't see it. And even in the teaser, I was like, oh shoot, that happened. Oh wait, she was crying during that.
Yeah. And it's, like you and I are good friends. But we don't necessarily know what each other we're going through in the moment because you're so self-involved in what you have going on. So yeah, I mean, I can't wait to watch your story as well. Because like you said, I mean, I hate to see you cry, but there's a lot of tears going on. There's, but it's fun. I don't know. I always say, I tell everyone, I'm not going to watch it back, but I'm going to watch it.
You have to watch it. You have to.
It's also like, we know what happened.
Yeah.
But because so much is happening, you forget. Like the way I felt day one is not the same way I felt day 7.
Yes.
And it's not the same way I feel now. So you go back and you relive.
Same.
Yeah, you relive those moments and you're like, oh, I forgot I went through all that.
Yeah.
It's not that long ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you also compartmentalize things that happened and not because there was a point where I was talking to my producer and she was like, remember when this happened? And I was like, that happened? What? And also actually in one of the teasers, I'm like, I call someone a liar and I'm like, I don't even remember doing that. I did that. I mean, I probably did do that, but I didn't remember. I mean, clearly I did. It's on TV, but I didn't remember doing that in that moment. Right?
I remember you doing that.
You were there?
I think I was there for that. Yeah.
You were?
I'm almost positive. Yeah.
Oh, so I was talking to you? So you the liar? No, I'm just kidding.
No, but I remember that conversation.
Okay. Okay.
Or cool. at least maybe I was watching it from behind a daybed or something. It was.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I see y'all remember stuff I don't even remember.
Let's hit up our clickbait of the week, shall we?
Yes. So we got some clickbait of the week, and I think it's really good. It's actually really straightforward too. And actually, Paradise, I have a question for you about this. So, how long does it take to fall in love? That's what our clickbait of the week is about. There's a lot of statistics that are in this article, and they talk about how for women and men, They talk about love at first sight, how there's a higher percentage of men that believe in love at first sight than women. Do you agree with that, Joe?
Do I agree with that there's a higher percentage, or do I agree with love at first sight?
Well, do you agree that there is possible for love at first sight? And secondly, do you agree that men believe that more than women?
I believe at times in my life, I've believed in love at first sight, and at times in my life, I haven't. But I would say it's equal.
It's equal. Okay. Yeah. Well, according to this, 61% of women believe in love at first sight, and 72% of men do. So that's a whole 11% more, according to this article, which is about even, though, right? Like, it's very close, right?
When we say love at first sight, though, how long is the actual sight? Is it eye contact, or is it I see you, we have a conversation for 5 minutes, and I feel something,
and I'm in love? I'm in love. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I don't think it's like in passing, I love this person. I think it's like you talk to this person
on my way to Starbucks. Oh my God, I'm in love. Like, that I think that's a little ridiculous, but I think I don't think you should put a time frame on how long you could fall in love, how long it takes to fall in love. I think personally, I think it could, I think it could take 5 minutes. I think it could take 3 days. I think it could take a month. I think
hopeless romantic Joe coming through, y'all. Do y'all hear this, listeners?
I think it all varies, but I go back to when you're in high school, like the first time you fall in love. If you really think about it, it doesn't take that long to get those feelings. I think the hard part, or not the hard part, but falling in love is easy. I think it's very easy. I think maintaining love is the tricky part, because you could fall in love with somebody and not know 50% about them.
Yes.
So it's, as the relationship goes, I think it's the maintaining the love is where the issue comes in for a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. So they talk about love as a verb and love as a noun, right? So love as the thought of love, like I love you because you're hot, or this or that, right? And then there's the doing, like I love you because you get me coffee in the morning and you're thoughtful, or you're attentive, or whatever that thing is, right?
I love you because you're nice to look at.
Well, sure. Well, some people, I do think that there's a level of that. And so when I do believe in love at first sight as well, it doesn't happen often for me. I will say that. The interest, of course, you want to be attracted to someone, but there are guys who I have been madly in love with that I didn't even think was attractive when I first met them. But their persistence and their attention to detail and the way that they remember things, that I was like, oh, hold on, that's cute. And I feel like sometimes when a man isn't, let's say, traditionally attractive, let's just say that, for some people, and they've gone through life, like some people, they've gone through life and they've just been that attractive guy their whole life, so maybe they don't have to do as much in certain areas to get women's attention. Those other guys, I mean, they doing the most, and I'm like, oh yeah, I like this.
I think it, yeah, and I think it's all, like, obviously every person's different, right? But it's also situational. It's like, yes, you're somebody that it might take longer for you to fall in love, but in the right situation at the right time, it could happen right away.
Yes.
And, just because, I'm sure there's a lot of people listening right now that may be, married for 10 years and it took them 3 months to fall in love with the person that they're with now, but it doesn't mean that they couldn't have fallen in love with that person in the first 5 minutes if the situation
was different.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you. Now I have two more things. All right. So it says that 67% of people now believe, because of dating apps, it is possible to fall in love with someone who they haven't met in person yet. 67% of people believe that because of dating apps. What do you think about that? I know you're not a big dating app guy, but What do you think about that?
I believe it. I also think it's the future. And I think technology and relationships through technology are becoming more prevalent. And I definitely buy into it. I'm a little more old school, so I don't see that happening for me.
Yeah.
But
cyber love.
Yeah. I 100% buy into that. Yeah.
Also, so you've done.
Do you? Hold on. Do you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I do. I mean, I think there was a whole show, Catfish, right? Where like people were extorting people for thousands of dollars because people really felt in love with these people because they would talk to them for hours and hours. And, you know, talking to someone, whether they're lying to you or not, it makes you care about someone the more time you spend with someone. And so I definitely think it's possible, 100%. I also think that just like, you know, it's very impossible to fall for liars. You know what I mean? Like these catfish people, right? But you've done 2 paradises now. For our listeners, as Joe said earlier, we don't get a lot of sleep in paradise. So let's, you know, paradise, again, you know, it shoots over a span of time let's just say about a month, right? One paradise day, Joe, what do you think one paradise day is in the real world? To put it in perspective for our listeners.
Sure, yeah. And I've talked to my friends and my family about this a lot. Okay, so you're completely stripped down as far as no phone, no contact to the outside world. So that plays a huge part. There's no distractions. And then you're also walking on a show that they are pushing you to talk about your feelings and why, you know, and why or why not you haven't fallen in love, or why it's taking you so long to fall in love again. So they're taking you to a vulnerable place.
Yep. Opening up old wounds.
With no distractions. And then if you are talking to somebody on the beach or you're into that person, you're with them all day long. And eventually you start having real conversations about feelings and what you want in a relationship and what you don't want. So you go there faster as opposed to in the real world. Because you could go on dates. You could be dating somebody for 2 months out here and have seen them 5 times.
Right. And all 5 times could be fun. It could be with friends. It could be and that could also total up like 20 hours.
Yeah. Where the first day, you know, we're up for 20 hours. So I would say one day in paradise is equivalent to 2 weeks, a week, 2 weeks, depending on what goes down with you on that day. I would say it's equivalent to a few weeks, yeah. But all depending. I mean, if you're down there the first day and you're just having fun, then yeah, you're just having fun. But if you're down there and you're allowing yourself to go there emotionally, then yeah.
So you said 1 week. Okay, so let's put this into perspective here. You said 1 week. And according to this article, it says it takes men on average 88 days to fall in love, and women 134 days to fall in love. Okay. So if one day is 1 week, which is 7 days, right? Let's take, what's 30 times 7? 210.
Okay.
210 days, right?
This isn't a podcast.
Well, the article is about statistics. So 210 days. So for someone to stay in paradise from the beginning to the end, let's say they get engaged, whatever, there's some engagements happening, they would have surpassed in your definition.
With my logic, yeah.
Yeah, with your logic, they would have been together for roughly 210 days, give or take, of course. And that's well over 88 days. So 100%, just for our listeners to put it in perspective, the people who, if there's some engagements at the end of this paradise, it's real, baby. It's real. I mean, I believe it too.
I think so.
I believe it too.
Yeah. I think so. I think, yeah, you can't really truly understand it until you go through it. And then once you go through it, it makes sense.
Yeah. And that's why when people are like, I've only known you for a week, it's like a week is really, 40 days. You know what I mean? It's wild.
I'm not saying I was down there this time for a full week, but I was down there last time for a full week. And I can tell you a full week feels like 3 months.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does. It feels like you have been there forever.
Yes. So there it is, guys. I mean, this clickbait, how long does it take to fall in love? We think not so long. So that's our take. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know. DM us and tell us. Look, I love stories. You know what I'm saying? So let us know how long. If you've been married for a while, my parents, they were dating for 6 months. They've been married for 40 years. Hey, there it is. Yeah.
My parents got engaged after 3 months, and they've been together for, I think 35 years, something like that.
Beautiful.
Actually, before we move on, this article is saying it takes 210 days on average to fall in love.
No, that's you. 88 men, or 88 days for men, 134 for women. That's what the article is saying, yeah.
That's in 2021.
Hey.
In 1960. How long did it take?
Oof, honey. Real fucking quick.
And there was a lot, and that's because honestly, no technology.
The distractions. And that's the biggest thing. When I look at my phone and all the listeners, you go to your phone and you look at your activity, how long we spend on our phone a day, it's like 8 hours on average or something like that for me, right? Yeah. I work on my phone as well, so I'm on it a lot. We were in paradise without that. 8 hours is a whole work day for some people. Okay, we was out there in paradise working on love, honey. Working on love.
The old school way. All right. Well, you know what? I think we'll see.
Paradise next Monday. Y'all better get ready. Woo!
There you go. And I think that sums it up. That's how we feel. And for our listeners, these are our opinions. You feel free to agree or disagree with them. But we're giving our opinions. Yeah. Okay. So now is the time that I am so excited for this person. I've been trying to get her on the podcast for quite some time. Everyone, please welcome the one and only Victoria Larson. You may know her as the Queen, but I'm just going to call her Victoria for this one. Victoria, the Queen Victoria, I've been dying to get you on this podcast. I'm so happy you're here for real. Have you done any other podcasts since your show?
Only did Not Skinny, Not Fat.
Okay, so we're going to call this an exclusive. We're going to call this a Victoria
my first
exclusive
podcast.
Exclusive.
All right, first of all, how are you? How you doing?
Oh my gosh, I'm doing pretty good. I just got back from LA, so a little tired, but besides that, good. How are you guys?
Where are you? Miami?
Yeah. I'm living in Miami and LA. I can't decide.
I guess you were considered the villain on your season, correct?
I would say so.
Okay. How are you doing now?
I'm doing good. I mean, Natasha and I have spoken, she helped remind me that we're all always learning and growing. And I think it's cool that we get to watch ourselves back on TV and decide what we want to change and where we can improve. That was a good experience. So yeah, those are the positives.
Okay. Did you watch the After the Rose episode last night?
I YouTubed it to try to see, and obviously saw some on Instagram, but I don't know. What's y'all's thoughts on that?
Okay, so I'm going to ask you. So I remember watching your season, and you and Katie got into it a few times. And she was really feisty after the Rose. Would you have taken that if she was? Came at you like that?
Did you see it?
I didn't see it, but I got a lot of Instagram messages being like, oh, now we see the Katie that you didn't like or something. So I'm like, oh my gosh. But I think I have a relationship with Katie now too. I think, we all kind of can decide to have mutual respect for one another. Like we all go through this process. But yeah, so I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? Listen, you are on a podcast right now. You need to tell us how you feel.
I don't think you would have took it.
I don't know. It depends on the day. Because like sometimes I'll just take it and then like go have a glass of wine later and be like, that bitch is crazy. Or like, yeah, sometimes I'll explode. Like it really depends on the day and how pissed off the whole day has accumulated to be. So I don't know.
Okay. I get that. That's very understandable.
Yeah. I think, what about, so Bachelorette is over. We have seen the queen arrive to the beach, reincarnated as
the goddess.
Yeah, see, I don't like that, Victoria. I don't like that for you.
Some people didn't.
Tell us how you feel.
You are the queen. Why the switch?
Yeah, tell us.
Well, I'm just blonde now, so I was feeling some goddessy vibes, and it's summer, and I did a lot of like meditation, crystal work, so the goddess just emerged. But you know, the queen could always come back out. Don't worry, Joe.
Okay, all right.
I think about it as like, you know how Beyonce has Sasha Fierce, you know, like it's like there's Beyonce, which is like, hey guys, and then there's like Sasha Fierce. Like Queen Victoria is like. It's almost, it's like a personality. You know what I mean? Don't hype her up. She gonna come out.
Yeah, exactly. And I do feel like it was more of a personality. So I had so much fun with it. But then going into Paradise, I wanted to show more of myself, but I just can't help myself. I needed another character.
Do you think the queen is more likely to fall in love or the goddess is more likely to fall in love?
Ooh.
Good question.
I think that when I fall in love, it'll be the queen and the goddess because someone has to love all of me.
Oh, they're going to be one lucky man getting a queen and a goddess all in one, let me tell you.
If you can't handle me at my queen, you don't deserve my goddess.
Hey! You're going to put that on a shirt. You need to put that on a shirt. You said you work at a boutique. Look, we got to work on that.
So what do you look for in a guy?
So definitely, I like someone who can spend quality time with me. Like I've noticed that's how I receive love is like spending time together. So someone who is kind of like an entrepreneur. So they have like free time, not free time, but you know, like not a 9 to 5. It just doesn't work for my schedule right now. Someone super kind and generous and funny. I like to have fun. Obviously, you guys know me, but I like someone who has a balanced life. Like I want to be, like sometimes I want to be partying till 4 a.m. or 2 p.m. I don't know. And then sometimes I want to be like hitting the gym, training for something. So a balanced life.
So that's definitely the Miami life.
Yeah, we out here. We doing it.
Any physical attributes?
I've always been really open-minded in that because I know I don't like someone who's like, oh, I like you because you're this. It's like, what? Did you get to know me? So I try not to, but I like someone who takes care of themselves. And typically I like light eyes, but I've gone for tall, dark, handsome. So no, I'm pretty open with the physical.
On your season of Bachelor, you wrote like a little soft porn novel.
So for me though, that was like, I pushed myself so out of my comfort zone, you know? So that day was actually really exhilarating because it was like when I walked into that date, I was like, oh God, no, like this, I've seen this on TV. Like, I don't want to do this. But then I just pushed myself and had such a fun time and actually really bonded with the girls that day. Like, I feel like that was the turning point in my relationship in the house. So it was actually awesome.
Yeah. And I thought that was awesome. It really was. And good for you because it's hard to push yourself out of your comfort zone and get there. And I mean, that was nice. That was sweet.
I think also it's so funny because I think, you know, society tells us that it's so okay for men to be raunchy per se, or say exactly how they feel in the bedroom, and how women should be more silenced, and how women shouldn't say what they think. And it's like, women have dirty thoughts too, right?
Yeah.
And you put it out there, and yeah, I think that is really great, because women, we think about some things as well, and we are like, oh no, I couldn't say that, I can't, but you can. Well, and it's empowering sometimes.
Did you receive a rose that week?
Yeah, definitly. After that story.
Absolutely. They're like, after that, yes.
Yeah, no, I only didn't I lost my rose getting privileges when I took the crown off Catalina.
Oh yeah. And y'all, we know that Victoria's in paradise. Yeah, I was real nervous. I told her herself. I told her to her face. I said, honey, I was nervous meeting you, because that was a no for me. We had a whole talk about it. I said, Victoria, what the hell were you thinking?
What can we expect from you in paradise?
I think paradise will be great because you get to see a different side of me. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Did you like your paradise? Did you like your paradise experience?
I feel like paradise for me this time was more about redemption and like getting to see everyone and get more involved with people. So I liked it, and meeting you guys was of course a pleasure. Yeah, there were elements I liked. I liked it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Was there anyone when you walked in where you're like, yes, I'm into this guy?
I feel like, well, when I first walked in, it was like Brendan and the boys, and I was just honestly so nervous because I'm like, oh my God, these people think I'm like this horrible villain. So I had a lot of nerves.
Okay.
And I couldn't really get to the point of like, oh my God, this is my person. Like, it was just so fast.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I will say that I know you felt that coming in, but the girls from your season, shout out to the girls from your season that were there when you arrived. They really did have your back. They really did say, like, she's really not what you think. Like, she's really funny. She's really great. And I got to know that personally. Joe got to know that personally.
We had so much
Joe
fun.
Joe is a super stan, and he does not fuck with anybody in Bachelor Nation for real. Okay, he is a super stan of Queen Victoria. He has been asking for you to come on this podcast since you first stepped since you stepped out of the limo.
Well, you guys
on Matt's season.
You guys will definitely. First of all, it was a throne, Natasha. It wasn't a limo.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Come on, Natasha.
The limo.
Jesus.
Sorry, the limo.
Jesus.
Duh.
Definitely.
Shame on me.
You guys will be invited to the royal wedding one day.
Okay, so are you teasing anything?
Ooh.
You'll have to watch and find out.
Okay.
We love that. We love to hear that. And Victoria, really quick, I want to touch on, you just did a pageant.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And you are part of the pageant world. Like you said, Joe said, what do? You got a lot of things going on. Tell us how you feel about the pageant world, and there's a lot of, and your thoughts on just like Bachelor and pageant people coming on.
Yeah, so I guess I hadn't won a state title, so it was a little bit backwards, like going into the pageant after doing Bachelor. A lot of the girls do it first, they win, and then they go. But you know what? Mm-hmm. It's just, they're both worlds where there's driven people, there's people that are wanting opportunities, whether it's finding love or bettering themselves. And for me, I've always liked the pageant because I competed in Florida, then California, then Florida. I aged out, but I love the girls I meet there are some of my best friends. And like, it was interesting going back. The pageants are like draining. You have long days, but after doing Bachelor, I'm like, this is so easy. This isn't not emotionally exhausting at all. So that
long days.
Yeah, that was cool to see like how much the Bachelor franchise and experiences have like strengthened me to take on other things.
Yeah.
But also, you guys know me, like I'm not a, pageant person probably.
I would say you're just
I think you're you.
Yeah, you're you. And you're somebody that likes to have a good time and you're willing to always try new experiences.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that it's hard when you put yourself in positions where there is a conformed look or there's a conformed way to be.
Right.
But like, you are such an individual and I think you should champion that and like hone in on that
definitely.
and not try to fit in anyone's box, right?
So I've done so much work on accepting like all the nuances of myself and the different elements. So like, also too though, like I'm glad I did the pageant and I got to meet amazing friends again and I love them and I'm excited for the girl who won. Like it's a great experience overall.
Before we play a game, we're going to play a game with you. What is the one thing you took away from reality TV throughout it all?
I don't know, right? Because it's such like a whirlwind and then I go back to my normal life. I don't often think about it, but what I took away from reality TV is that I love it. I love the production. I love the people that you get to meet. I love that it's like a whole new world. And overall, I am really grateful, even with all the hater messages. Like, I'm happy I did it.
Good.
I say bring on the hate. Don't worry about the hate.
Yeah. Fuel it into something else.
That's right. Use it for fuel. That's what you got to do.
And okay, last question. If you could describe Paradise in one word, what would it be?
I don't know. That's tough.
Okay.
Chaos.
Joe, do you have
chaos?
What'd you say?
Chaos was the first word that came to my mind.
There you go. I think chaos is a perfect word to describe the beach this year. I do.
Chaos. Yes. All right. So we're going to get into a game with you.
Okay.
We like to do games with our guests just to get to know them a little better. It's rapid fire. So the first thing that comes to mind, it's called Roll the Paradise with Queen Victoria. We stand you as a queen, girl. We
love you guys.
People gonna meet the goddess, and then you just do an Instagram poll and say, is it the queen or is it the goddess? Exactly. All right. So here we go. You ready? Rapid fire.
Okay.
Margarita or beer?
Margarita.
Beach or pool?
Beach with like a cabana.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, queen. Yes.
Yeah. Bachelor in Paradise or The Bachelor?
Paradise.
Romance or drama?
Romance. Woo me, honey.
Okay. Sunset or sunrise?
I honestly like both. Sunset, I guess. Both.
Sunset, yeah. I'm sure
you gotta go sunset.
You get a lot there, I'm sure.
Mornings, my morning sunrises, and then you're just like, wow, I'm accomplished already.
Okay.
Okay. This is gonna be hard for you because you go both ways, I think. Party or relax?
Shit. Yeah, that's tough. Right now, I'm in the mood to relax.
Yeah, okay. Relax.
Call me on Thursday.
All right,
I'll be partying.
Okay, Mrs. Hoes and Boats. Boats or jet skis?
So you get that feeling once the weekend approaches, you're like, I gotta get out there, go have some fun.
I love my friends so much, and then I get like FOMO. I'm like, I want to hang out with my friends.
I know, I get it.
But I love focusing during the week and focusing on all my 20 projects.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So boats or jet skis?
Shit, a boat with a jet ski. Duh.
That's right on both. Okay.
Duh is right.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been on a boat that didn't have jet skis attached. No, I'm just kidding. Bikinis or one piece?
Bikinis.
Sunburn or sun-kissed?
Sun-kissed glow.
Okay. Now, I know we said the people are going to ask about this, but queen or goddess?
Right now, the goddess. I'm still feeling the vibes.
Goddess vibes.
Okay. All right. One more. I'm going to ask you.
Grand finale.
Victoria, you have to be honest. Okay. I don't want to hear this goddess bullshit. You got to be honest with me.
Okay.
Team Katie or Team Greg?
I haven't met Greg, so I would say Team
I don't
Katie.
care what you've seen.
From the show, I think he's talking about.
I don't know. Like, I'm having bad connection. I can't hear you.
Victoria, answer the question.
I think we know your answer from that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. There you go. You heard it here first.
It's okay. I mean, you know what? I will say our last podcast, me and Joe were against each other. He agreed with Katie. I agreed with Greg. I mean, we put it out there. We didn't care.
Yeah. I should have.
But things change.
Yeah.
But things change. Yeah. And then Joe changed. And Joe changed the story.
It's not that I don't really, I think they both handled certain situations the wrong way. And I think it just became messy. I don't blame either of them. I think, like I said, I think it was led by emotion. It was real.
Yeah.
I definitely
I think it was toxic.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I think what you said, like there was love behind it and it just wasn't like the right match. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And also, guys, I can't judge. Like I did way crazier shit. That's why I'm like, I don't know. Like whatever.
Yeah, I think I think that's a great attitude. I don't think we should ever judge anyone. I think we should let people do their thing and be who they are. And honestly, I just hope nothing but the best for you, Victoria. I hope you find love. I hope you could read your romantic novel to your future husband.
I feel like you should read that and like post it, and it's gonna you're gonna get hits, girl.
Yeah, I don't know what's holding you back. Yeah, I don't know what's holding you back.
Yeah, it's a work of art. It all comes full circle at the end. I mean, it's perfect.
But Victoria, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Me. Send me some sauce or something.
Yeah, I will.
Tell everybody where we can find you.
My Instagram is Victoria Larson. I love you guys.
All right.
Thanks, honey.
I don't want to leave. Hang out with me all day.
Yeah, that's clickbait,
unfortunately,
baby.
We can't. That's not how this works. But Victoria, thank you so much for coming on. We love you.
Yes. Hopefully you're back
later. All right. That was
Victoria. That erotica. Great. I'm obsessed.
That was great.
She's an author.
That was the word I was looking for. Erotica novel.
Yes, she would be a best-selling author.
But I think there is something to say about stepping out of your comfort zone on TV and forcing yourself to do something that you wouldn't do. And that's how you grow. It's how you grow as a person, regardless if you agree with what's in the erotica novel or not. I commend her for it. I thought it was great. So
I just vividly remember all the girls' faces, Matt's face, Chris Harrison. I remember everyone's face just being like, oh. So I'm glad we got to experience that, Joe.
Listen, Victoria is a real person and she is a TV maker. So thank you to her. I'm so happy she came on. She's the queen. Thank you to all of our listeners. You guys tune in every week. We really appreciated it. And as always, make sure to subscribe and submit all your burning questions. Check us out on social and comment, DM us. You know where to find us at ClickbaitBN on Instagram and Batch Nation Pods on Facebook and Twitter.
And share your stories with us. We want to hear what clickbait you guys are looking at this week. Subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Wondery app, or wherever you guys are listening right now. Hit the subscribe button. We'll see you guys next week.
And don't forget, stay tuned. Next week, Monday, Paradise starts.
I'm on your TV, Joe on your TV, every Monday for a few weeks.
DM me what you like and what you hate. I'll take it. I'll take them both.
Yeah, DM Joe what you don't like and hate about mine too.